Hi everyone, welcome back. Happy 2022. If you enjoy watching this video today, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. In today's video, we're making this old buffet look modern using samples of latex paint and embracing one of 2022's color of the year, sage green. This piece needs a lot of repairs, and although we're painting it, we're going to try to restore as much of the natural wood as possible. So let's get started. First things first, as usual, I'm going to clean this as thoroughly as I can. I started by applying a generous amount of TSP solution and then got to scrubbing. I put the unit on the ground so I can reach on the inside a little better. The inside was horrible. This unit was filthy. I spent a couple of hours just scrubbing and scrubbing. It felt like the more I scrubbed, the more dirt came off. I finished up by rinsing with just plain water just to make sure I got all the solution off. One of the benefits of taking the time to clean properly is you get up close with every part of the unit. You discover overlooked areas that may need some repair or any inconsistencies that may affect your refinishing plans. What I hadn't noticed before was these little molding strips at the front were broken on the ends. My plan is to keep the natural wood on the drawer fronts as well as the top. After taking off the hardware, I decided on removing those molding strips as well as the little broken design on the front. I'm using a heat gun. Whenever you're using heat on a veneer surface, you want to be very careful. A little heat will help me remove this easily, but if I put too much, it would lift the veneer on the bottom. I used just enough to loosen the glue. And with a metal scraper, I was able to prise this off, also being careful not to scratch the surface below. Once it was completely off, I used some of the TSP solution and gently scraped off the remaining glue. The veneer was lifting quite a bit on the sides, so I removed as much of the lifted parts as possible and filled with Bondo. I kept all the broken pieces to reuse on the repair of the drawer fronts. After finishing up some other minor repairs, it was now ready for sanding. I started with an 80 grit on the top on the drawer fronts and scuff sanded the rest of the piece with a 220 grit. If you refinish furniture yourself, these sanding sponges are a lifesaver. They are great for rounded edges and hard to reach crevices. They come in a pack with several different grids and you wash and reuse them as many times as you like, saving you lots of money buying sandpaper. I highly recommend them. Since I'm keeping the drawer fronts in the natural wood, I'm going to do the repairs using the veneer pieces I saved from the sides. With an X-Acto knife, I'm cutting straight edges around the damaged areas and gluing pieces of the old veneer on. Once the glue was dried, I sanded it lightly. On the sides, I used a 80 grit sandpaper to get the rough parts off and finished off with a 220 grit. For the screw holes, I mixed some of the sanding dust with the quick wood putty to try to get the color to blend in as much as possible. Now that all the repairs are done, I'm going to clean it up and get it ready for primer. I decided to put the drawers in just to see how everything's looking, and the screw holes are still pretty obvious, as well as the mark of the little embellishment on the front. For now, I'm just going to clean it up, tape off the top, and prime the rest of it. This is my first time using latex paint on furniture. Since I had these samples and these greens were so gorgeous, I wanted to give it a try. I actually totally forgot to strain the paint. I think it was a long day and I just wanted this project to come in for a landing. Okay, so here are the drawer fronts. I sanded as much as I can, but these holes have this ring around it, and no matter what I did, the stain from the embellishment remained. Actually, the more homemade methods I tried, the worse it got. So sadly, I have to paint them. I was so upset about this, but it would be worse leaving it like that. I finished off the top with Fusion Paint Stain and Refinishing Oil in Natural. After everything was dry, I added new hardware and put it all back together. Remember this buffet before? Here it is now. Well, even though this didn't go according to my plan, it still came out beautiful. A reminder that in our own lives, we need not worry when things don't go our way. When you give it all to our Father in heaven, He has the perfect plan. Until next Friday, stay safe, everyone.